He called me into his office at 7:42 p.m., long after everyone had gone home. The glass walls of the firm gleamed with the city's nightlights, a cage of reflections and silence. His voice, dry and authoritative, carried across the floor. "Close the door, Michael." I did, slowly. On the table between us lay a single folder, no preamble, no pretense, the kind of silence that doesn't just hang, it judges. He gestured for me to sit, his expression calm, almost ceremonial. "We've made our decision about the new senior partner." I'd waited 6 years for that sentence, 6 years of 12-hour days, forgotten anniversaries, and saving his firm from more lawsuits than I could count. I thought I knew what would come next. Then he smiled, that dry, paternal smile that had once made me believe he saw me as a son. "It's Lily," he repeated, "my niece, you've seen her around." I had. 4 weeks in the firm, 4 weeks of wide smiles and manicured confidence. He started explaining something about new perspectives, family vision, and trust. I heard none of it. I watched the reflection of his mouth move in the glass behind him, watched the skyline shimmer and distort. I realized something then. He wasn't giving her a promotion, he was giving me my life. My wife didn't look surprised when I told her that night. She just placed her wine glass down too gently, as if she'd rehearsed the motion. "Oh, that's unexpected," she said. "Unexpected." The words sliced through the silence like a dull knife. "I thought your father trusted me." She smiled faintly, eyes lowered. "He does, Michael, but Lily's family, you know how he is." I did. I'd seen it in the way he'd toast to legacy at every company dinner, in the way his gaze lingered on the people who shared his last name. But something about her tone, soft, too calm, unearthed a deeper discomfort. "Did you know?" I asked. A pause, just long enough. "No, of course not." Liar. Her eyes flickered, laughed to tell she could never hide, the same glance she'd given me once when I asked if she'd been at her mother's place that weekend. A buried memory stirred, a text she deleted too quickly, a dinner she claimed was with colleagues. And suddenly it wasn't just the promotion that stank of betrayal, it was everything. Over the next week I worked as if nothing had changed. I congratulated Lily in front of the team, smiled at the right moments, laughed at her shallow jokes. I even sent my father-in-law thank you email for the opportunity to learn under new leadership. He replied with a thumbs up emoji. Perfect. At night I didn't sleep, I studied. Her emails, her call logs, her financial transfers. I wasn't looking for money, I was looking for connections, ties between Lily, my wife, and him. It took 3 nights before I found it. An encrypted message chain buried inside the firm's internal chat system, not addressed to me, addressed to RLC.admin. RLC, Rutherford Legal Corporation, my father-in-law's initials. I encrypted it. The messages were between Lily and him. "Lily, he's still in the dark?" RLC, "Yes, keep him occupied. He'll leave quietly once you're confirmed." Lily and Rachel. RLC, "She knows how to keep him calm." Rachel, my wife. "Keep me calm." The words echoed in my head like a sentence being read aloud in court. I sat there in the office under the blue glow of the monitor while the city exhaled outside. For 6 years I had built their empire, drafted their contracts, protected their secrets. Now I finally understood why they'd trusted me so much. Because I was the fool signing my own confinement. The next morning I walked into his office. He was laughing with Lily, the sound high and false. She slipped out when she saw me. He looked up, adjusting his cufflinks. "Michael, I hope this isn't about the decision, it's final." "It is," I said, "that's why I wanted to deliver this." I placed an envelope on his desk, thick, sealed, formal. He raised an eyebrow. "Your resignation?" "Among other things." He opened it. Inside were printouts, every message, every proof of collusion, and one final document, a legal clause I'd written into the firm's partnership agreement years ago. Clause 14B, any act of nepotism affecting a registered partner's career advancement constitutes grounds for corporate dissolution and legal investigation under conflict of interest statutes. His expression faltered. "You wrote this, you signed it, you forgot the clause existed." He read the words again, his hand trembled. "You can't, I can," I said, and I already did. The board has copies. The silence that followed wasn't quiet, it was suffocating. He stood up so fast the chair scraped the floor. "You can't be serious," I smiled, calm, detached. "Congratulations to Lily," I said softly. "I'm sure she'll handle the audit well." His face turned red, then pale. He reached for the phone, then stopped, realized every word would trace back to him. For a moment the great Richard L. Caldwell, the man who owned half the skyline, looked small. "I treated you like a son." I looked him in the eye. "That was your first mistake." When I walked out, Lily stood by the reception desk, oblivious, chatting about her new title. I didn't stop, but I left a copy of the file on her desk. Her smile faded as I passed. By the time I reached the elevator, she was already calling him. I pressed the button, watched the doors close. Behind the glass I could see their reflections collapsing into each other. Panic, betrayal, disbelief. All the emotions I'd mastered years ago. The next morning the news broke. Rutherford Legal under investigation for conflict of interest scandal. His empire began to rot from the top down. Rachel called me twice, I didn't answer. The firm I built was gone, but so was the illusion that I ever belonged to it. I moved my belongings into a small downtown office, a clean slate. No family portraits, no empty praise, just silence and the hum of fluorescent lights. 6 years of sacrifice had taught me one thing. Loyalty means nothing to people who think they own you, but they forget, contracts cut both ways. I leaned back in my chair, looked out at the city, and let the truth settle like ash. Some victories don't roar. They whisper, and mine whispered his name as it burned.